So in this example, it is very simple and you will understand more about electric circuits inside the next videos. So be patient and understand now. So calculate the power supplied or absorbed by each element. So we have here a circuit, we have here a supply, and two elements which consume power, and we need to identify the power supplied or power absorbed by each element. So simply, you know that the power is equal to the voltage multiplied by current, right? So here, this is a supply voltage. So the power P1 is negative. So that is the first thing. Second thing, it will be the voltage multiplied by current going outside it. So the voltage is 20 volt. Current going outside is 5 ampere. So it will give us negative 100 watt, which is the supplied power. Now for the element B2. B2, current is going inside it. And we have here going inside the positive. So this element is a consuming element. Okay, so this one is absorbing element. So the power equal to voltage multiplied by current. So 12, which is the volt, multiplied by the current, which is 5 ampere, give us 60 watt absorbed power. Now let's see the element number 3. So element number 3, current entering through the positive. So we assume it is an absorbing power. So the power of P3 is the voltage multiplied by current. Voltage multiplied by current, which is 48 watt. Now let's go to our element B4. B4, let's see its power. It is a current source. So the power of it is equal to the voltage multiplied by the current. Okay, but remember something, okay, which will be discussed later, that here this element is parallel to this element. Okay, you will see that this node and this point is common here, and also this point and this point are common. Okay, so the end and the beginning of each element are the same. The beginning here is the same as beginning here. Okay, all of this are connected together, and this element and this point are connected together. So this point is similar, this point is similar. So we say that this element parallel to this element. Of course, we are going to discuss the parallel later. But anyway, for this problem, in parallel, the voltage here is 8 volt. So voltage here is 8 volt because in parallel, the voltage is the same. So the power equal to the voltage, which is 8 volt, multiplied by the current.